back in 2015, front row start for him. Because he missed the second and third SMP events, Scafie, he's down the order now in the championship. He's down in 18th position, but this is a big moment for him. He's sitting it up high with that go-kart line through the final corner. He's got nice drive traction coming onto the straight. It just jumped sideways when it crossed over the yellow line. Now he makes his run to the control line.
Let's see how it holds on.
He survived a wild 3.9 kilometres, and that's a very good time of 44.39. David's lap's going to turn out to be a ripper in those current conditions, and this is one of the great challenges, that the conditions are not stable minute to minute. You can get more or less wet every time a new runner goes out there. Down to the flag now after a fine fighting performance last night where he thought he might have generated a victory. Cam Waters punches in a 1 minute 45.9, almost a replica of what he did to get in there. He did it at 45.85.
To be 1.4 seconds faster than the time that got him into the 10 in arguably very similar conditions, because the other guys have done a similar time. Cam Waters, remember, with a 45.9. Based on his number before, almost the same number. What's the Mostert number? 45.95. So very similar, only 0.02 of a second between Waters and Mostert.
P3 at the moment, P3 with that time.
So again, very wide line on the approach into the final corner at 11, but a very straight exit. Sat it squarely on the rear tyres and now punches 100% throttle into it down to the line. This is going to be very, very close for Whincup. Not quite. 0.3 of a second in the end. David survives.
P2 there behind Reynolds. So, yeah, well done. Also perfect.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
It was impressive through turn one.
45.5 he did to get in. How's that? How's the slide?
So it got away from him just at the crest, and then when you're out wide there, it just cambers away, and he's listening in the background. Jamie, we're watching the replay of you around Corporate Hill. That was close.
Yeah, a little bit of a loose lap, but I think I lost him in the last sector, but all good. Hopefully move up a couple of spots, but the track could be drying as well, so we'll see where we end up.
Followed it, dropped back down nicely, got away with it. So 30.6 and a 45.7. Reynolds watching, and Brendan Hogan and the group at Cool Drive Racing. Tim Blanchard in the background, who'll co-drive. Mirko de Rose is the engineer. They're not blinking or breathing at the moment. He's not quite there, Tim Slade, but this has been a fine lap, and it's been a great season for them so far. Strategy's played very well. P2, great job. Only 0.14 in the end. That last sector was strong for Tim.
Certainly was. I reckon the track's getting a little bit better. I think that rain's actually subsided a little bit, and that was a nice slide here. Have a look at the car control. Tim Slade, right-hand wheels out onto the concrete fringe.
In the mid-corner dry tyre speed, in the mid-corner wet tyre speed, when you look at those numbers, when we put that telemetry up for you.
Whoa,
big catch at 6. That one may have been costly. It just pinched a brake, and then he had to release the brake. And it's got sideways on him big time, where Whincup had that same moment in exactly the same spot. That was a millimetre away from disaster for Percat. They're
massive
all
understeer there, Neil. Good number.
Good number.
45.5.
Don't worry about us getting animated about it. He's the one in the captain's chair at the moment. He's doing a nice job. Very straight in between 10 and 11. So this is setting up nicely here for Percat. Perfect drive out of the final corner. Stayed off the line. Stayed away from the concrete. They're watching at BJR. David Reynolds has got his eyes pegged here as well. Chasing a 44.3. And that's a big improvement, 43.8, half a second for Nick Percat.
Yeah, good job.
Chasing Percat, what's the split look like? 46.2, so 7/10 slower in the mid-sector. Might have just protected Nick Percat, top right of screen. Bottom right of screen is Dr. Jeff Slater, engineer for this car. So the local legends entry into the final corner. First sector was great for Fabian. Second sector, I think it just cost him a little bit in that hairpin in the middle of the racetrack. Now starts to make the run down the chute. See what this looks like when it translates on the watch across the line. Well done. Up into 4th position of 44.6.
P4 currently, P4.
So this is garage versus garage. They're from the same squadron, and we'll see what it's like. But it's going to be very close based on that middle sector of Todd Hazelwood's. This would be a great opportunity if he can shove it further up the grid. Position number 4. Well done.
P4, buddy. Good job, P4.
Straightened up and onto the straight as well as possible. What's he do here? This is going to be close.
David Couchy watching, Nick Percat watching, Shane Van Gisbergen pulling gears down the straight. This is going to be right on the money, but not quite. 0.4 of a second. Percat survives.
Apparently P2.
Very impressive.
Yep, nicely done, but Heimgartner off there, and he's about half a second away. Percat's got this thing. That's a 17 dead at the second cumulative. That's roughly 1.2, 1.3 seconds away. You almost run too wide there at the change of direction at the left-hander. So this car hasn't hooked up as well. In fact, I don't think it'll beat David Reynolds' time. So his teammate might knock him off, though. David Reynolds has been the man of the match so far, other than the Percat performance. What's he got? The number is a 45.47, and that goes way down to 8th. So Nick Percat, what a job for Nick Percat and Brad Jones Racing.
Fantastic performance. Second career pole, second Armour All pole for Nick Percat. Great way to start a wet race with the best possible chance of having no visibility issues, and clearly the best qualifying performance for him ever at Sydney Motorsport Park. Brad Jones jumps in to congratulate as well. Big team effort, and that's a great way to start. But the margin, Mark, now I know the conditions vary from lap to lap, but there was a lot of driver stuff going on out there as well. 0.4 of a second in the end for a 1:43.8 for Nick Percat over Shane Van Gisbergen. That sets up a great battle for our final race at Sydney Motorsport Park this afternoon. Big improvement from David Reynolds, and that lap of his, which was fully committed, absolutely on the ragged edge, has rocketed him up into the second row of the grid, position 3.
That was a remarkable lap. First man out, and is able to get from 10th to 3rd. So David Reynolds, well done.